Hi, I'm Dave Eckert, and this week's show serves as a homecoming of sorts to my hometown of Chicago.
We have a great city. We're developing a great food culture in the United States right now, and wine is being pulled along with that. And I think Chicago is really at the center of what's happening. We're really on the cutting edge.
Chicago, in my totally biased opinion, has it all. Architecture, art, shopping, and incredible culinary delights and diversity. I'm going to tap into both the delights and the diversity on this show, starting with the amazing American creations and around-the-world travels of Graham Elliot Bowles.
That's actually what this tattoo is. It's a list of all the places I lived in. So it's like my little personal map.
From there, I'll head up Halsted Street for a visit to one of the most successful and most delicious tapas restaurants anywhere, Cafe Ba-Ba-Reeba.
You're cranking out some numbers here.
We do on average 4,000 to 5,000 a week. Good week we'll do 5,000 plus. Saturday nights we do 1,000 people. In the nighttime, in the daytime do about 300 more. So it gets very challenging trying to organize, coordinate everything, making sure everything is coming out.
If you love wine, and you know I do, you're going to fall in love with Bin 36, which is really 4 concepts in one.
We really think of the restaurant as an onion.
From there, it's on to the very hot and hip Wit Hotel.
We want people to feel that they've come to Chicago and they've had a welcoming, inviting experience at the Wit Hotel.
The Wit has a number of food options for visitors and locals alike, but my favorite is Cibo Matto.
It's a hand-cut pasta that we make here that's with squid ink. Just kind of float this in there to make it look nice. And you have the honey and spiced pears.
Atop the Wit, there are the cocktails and ambience of the one and only Roof.
Look at these views up here. You can't buy wallpaper like this.
In a city with so many culinary treats, it only makes sense to highlight those treats in a single venue, Chicago Gourmet.
If I may, a toast to the great and beautiful city of Chicago, to the magnificent culinary talents of this city, and to a wonderful festival. Cheers. Cheers.
Chicago Gourmet is a 2-day celebration with top-notch chefs.
Take the chilies, the garlic, the shallot, the corn, just saute it off a little bit.
And top-notch wine.
Your dad was saying that when you score a touchdown with a Chapoutier or a Santa Margarita, you actually get 14 points.
Right, you get 14 points.
It's a double touchdown.
That makes up for the 13 points that field goals that you missed.
I can't get to it all, but I can guarantee you this. I'll try.
You want to make me a drink?
I'd love to. Do you want to try some rum on the rocks, or do you want to try a daiquiri with fresh lime juice?
Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride in the Windy City. Culinary Travels with Dave Eckert is next. It's always great to be back in Chicago. Although I haven't lived here in nearly a decade, I visit often. Chicago's like that best friend you don't see as much as you'd like, but when you do, all the time and distance just melts away. There's no denying Chicago's beauty. Its architecture rivals any city in the world, and its energy, ethnicity, and accessibility make it a great city to visit. Throw in its culinary acumen, and you've got the best of everything. On this program, I'm going to highlight some of my favorite places, personalities, and products. And I'm going to start with a new member of the Best of Chicago list, Graham Elliot Restaurant. That's Graham Elliot, as in chef-owner Graham Elliot Bowles, a Navy brat who lived around the world, gobbling up its culture and cuisine.
One day, my dad had come back from a trip and from the Middle East and decided to lay out chicken curry and rice and, like 10 different condiments, raisins, carrots, all these different things. And it was super exciting to be able to witness culture and things like that come hand in hand with the foods. And I think at the time I might have thought it was kind of funny, like I want a cheeseburger, because we're living in the Philippines and things like that. But in hindsight, looking back, and I was really lucky to be able to be exposed to these things.
Bowles opened his own space after earning as many stars and diamonds as you possibly can at Avenues, the fine dining restaurant at the Peninsula Chicago. Graham Elliot Restaurant hasn't been open very long, but it's already making a name for itself in the crowded and highly competitive Chicago restaurant scene. Part of the reason for that is the food, which is outstanding. Another big part is the concept. Fine dining, but in a casual atmosphere, without the pomp and circumstance of the white linen fine crystal set. Prices are reasonable, service is friendly and professional, and the overall experience, as I found out firsthand, is great.
It's really just kind of a cool aesthetic of we want delicious food, but in a fun, lively atmosphere. And we kind of call that bistronomic, which is, you know, the marriage of haute gastronomic kind of cuisine and a bistro-like atmosphere. So when you come in here, it's a full dining room, it's super loud, there's no dress code, there's no pretension going on, you know, and it's a very warm, lively feeling.
As for the cuisine, it's American, but with influences from around the world.
What we're going to be doing here is basically taking some escalar or white tuna, and we're going to do a sashimi of that with shaved radish, some cocoa nib, avocado mousse, passion fruit, micro cilantro, and some plantain. So kind of South American style.
Oh, cool.
Really cool to hear about, and even better to film and later eat. Like all of Bowl's cuisine, the finished dish is as beautiful as it is delicious.
And you could also do scallops or lobster, so I think it's really interchangeable. So it's a very versatile piece of protein.
From a South American spin, Bowls would next turn to the Far East and farm-raised yellowtail. Yellowtail's a fish I'm seeing more and more in restaurants across the country, and the farm-raised versions from Japan are outstanding and extremely flexible. Bowls chose to sear the yellowtail fillets and serve them rare with forbidden rice, baby bok choy, an edamame puree, and lemongrass bubbles. Wow! And if that doesn't grab your attention, how about this? Pacific Coast oysters served 3 ways, with a cucumber salad, a lemon gelée, and a ginger sorbet. I love oysters. I love this dish. Graham Elliot Restaurant, making fine dining accessible.
I'm going to be preparing a paella mixta for you. Basically, I want to demystify the whole paella thing as being something complex that people don't understand, that it's too difficult to prepare.
They prepare a lot of paella at my next restaurant visit, the always excellent Cafe Ba-Ba-Reeba. I've been coming to this Spanish tapas restaurant since it opened some 25 years ago, and I've never been disappointed. The food is always consistently good, and the atmosphere always fun. That combination has helped Ba-Ba-Reeba to thrive through the years, while other restaurants, tapas and otherwise, have come and gone.
In the U.S., I believe there's one tapas restaurant that predated us in New York, but they're long out of business, so.
What's your secret to success?
Our secret to success is, I think, finding a quality, good mix of ingredients, as well as paying attention to our guests' needs. Here at Cafe Ba-Ba-Reeba, we're part of the Let Us Entertain You family, where customer service is of our utmost concern.
Back to the cooking, where Cotini was preparing his paella mixta, a combination of seafood and meat. The meat in this case, pork shoulder and chicken thighs, with the seafood going in for the last 5 minutes or so. This is the finished product, which Cotini served tableside.
And the best thing about it is how the rice stays nice and fluffy on the inside, and it's nice and crispy on the outside.
I took a bite or two of the paella, and let me tell you, it was delicious. You could start with a plata de la casa, meat and cheese tray with jamon serrano, bread with fresh tomato, and 12-month aged manchego accompanied by some homemade sangria. Or a cheese plate with 3 Spanish cheeses, along with some dried fruits and nuts, and another glass of fresh sangria. You've got a couple of great reasons to visit Cafe Ba-Ba-Reeba.
Is this a fair statement? Tapas food seems to be fairly simple, few ingredients, but good ingredients, but with bold flavors. It seems to bring those two together.
Absolutely. You don't want more than 2 or 3 elements going into a dish. You know, you want to keep the flavors simple, but yet complex.
You could say that about Cafe Ba-Ba-Reeba as well. A fairly simple concept, made complex by the size of the space, more than 400 seats, and the number of diners served, about 5,000 in a good week. But it works, and it has for a while.
How long has Bin 36 been around now? It's been a while.
In December, it'll be 10 years.
10
We're
years.
celebrating our 10-year anniversary. Yeah.
Is that wild for you to think that?
I can feel it in my feet.
Not quite the 25-year run of Cafe Ba-Ba-Reeba, Bin 36 has nonetheless firmly entrenched itself in Chicagoans' palates. Bin 36 is an interesting concept, part fine dining restaurant, part cafe, part wine bar, and part wine shop. And it all melds seamlessly together.
Well, we really think of the restaurant as an onion with multiple layers, and we hope that guests will enjoy those layers at different times for different reasons.
Now we've got this beautiful asabuco pork shank made out of the free-range Berkshire pork.
that is just gorgeous.
Let's not forget about the food. It's one of the things that makes Bin 36 so appealing. Under the direction of John Caputo, a guy who originally studied to be a CPA but wound up in the kitchen, the cuisine here has always been good. Whether you're sitting down to a multi-course meal in the dining room, a quick bite in the cafe, or just having some cheese and wine at the bar. Coordinating all of that isn't easy.
I guess it's having eyes behind your head, being everywhere at one time. Not only that, though, we also have 2 other restaurants, too. One below us and one over in Bucktown, another town. So it's being a good juggler, I guess.
I was lucky enough to have dinner at Bin 36 the night before our filming, so I knew the food was every bit as good as I remembered. For the camera, Caputo chose an apple cider braised Berkshire pork ossobuco, served with a sweet potato cabbage roll, stuffed with pork sage sausage, apples, and caramelized onions. Then there was the cheese. They love their cheese at Bin 36 and have recently gone all domestic in their selections. Cheese flights are very popular. 4 cheeses served with fruit and bread, and of course, a glass of Bin 36 wine. Any way you go, the food at Bin 36 satisfies the appetite and soothes the soul.
The food needs to be interesting, but yet simple, and also simply prepared, so that we're not like Charlie Trotter's in that there's 7 hands touching 1 plate. And we're a much larger restaurant, as you can see around you. So the food has to be easy to prepare at last minute, a la minute on the line. It has to be tasty, and it has to look good.
Caputo calls his food upscale American bistro. That's fine with me. Just keep it coming. Bin 36, an onion, and a terrific food and wine experience. Moving on in my hometown, it's time to check into our hotel, the Wit, one of the hippest and hottest in the city. Need evidence of that? Well, just look at the scene at Roof, the Wit's rooftop bar. I'll have more from Roof in just a minute, but first, let's learn a little more about the Wit itself.
A lot of people thought you guys were crazy to open in this economy, to build new in this economy. And now you said they're coming back to you and saying, what did you know that we didn't know?
Right, exactly. I think the nice thing about it is that we didn't have any past history. And so it wasn't like this is how we do business, this type of thing. We questioned status quo. This is actually the best time to open up a business when things are down, because you look at every opportunity as opposed to going in with some kind of prejudice from past experiences. And if you think about it in history, most successful businesses were open in a down economy.
The Wit is a boutique property in the heart of Chicago's South Loop. It's at the corner of State and Lake, literally a stone's throw from Michigan Avenue, Millennium Park, the Theater District, you name it. Not only is the Wit well positioned, it's also well appointed. There are 298 guest rooms, including 60 suites. And unlike many boutique properties where I've stayed that are synonymous with loud, hot, and uncomfortable, the Wit is anything but. The rooms are spacious, the bed's comfy, and the service friendly and efficient.
People come in of all ages and they feel comfortable here. And that's what you want to have. You want to have a sense of comfort, because when people leave their own homes and such like that, it can be a little intimidating to go to another city. Now, especially if you're coming from a smaller city into a big city, but if you come into a place and you feel that comfort, it's really, really nice.
Then there's the matter of the food, always an important component for me. The Wit has several dining options, starting with their street-level restaurant, State and Lake, which serves classic bar food with an upscale twist.
We still want to offer the snacks and things that we do, but instead of just having bar snacks or whatnot, we'll take all organic mixed nuts and roast them in the oven and then sprinkle smoked sea salt on them and things like that. We'll do almost like a surf and turf play on deviled eggs, where you get one deviled egg that's a short rib deviled egg right next to a deviled egg that has lobster salad and fresh Maine lobster in it.
Manchester cooked up one of the restaurant's newer dishes for the camera, a Kobe beef skirt steak in a veal stock, red wine, and bone marrow sauce. The steak is served with a caramelized shallot potato gillette and a pickled red onion and Italian parsley salad with balsamic vinegar. State and Lake is the Wit's 3-meal-a-day restaurant, though you'll find the mood lighting throughout the day, even at breakfast, so don't let that throw you. It's a nice space, and one that's quite often packed.
We're in Chicago. It's very Chicago-style food, and we've got Italian influences in all of our dishes. So, and we're not sticking to one region in Italy. We're kind of like, when we see something that we really like, we're going to bring that forth, depending on really more the seasonality of it than anything else.
Just up the stairs from State and Lake, on the second floor of the Wit, is Cibo Matto, the Wit's excellent modern Italian restaurant. Cibo Matto's menu is on the small side, but that's because everything is seasonal, which means everything is fresh. For the camera, Newman whipped up one of the restaurant's favorites, spaghetti alla città, squid ink pasta with lump crab meat, cherry tomatoes, and serrano chilies.
Think like Italians is how Todd likes to say it, is that I'm cooking what's in my backyard. So in Italy, it's broken up by regions. We are now acting as if we're Italians and we're cooking in Chicago, and Chicago is our region of Italy.
As for the room, it's everything you'd expect from a contemporary restaurant, light and airy with an open kitchen and modern decor. But unlike a lot of modern restaurants, there's nothing sterile or off-putting about Cibomato. Quite the opposite, actually. I'd call the room inviting. They have quite the selection of cheese, make their own salumi, and hand-make all but one of their pastas. I didn't get the chance to dine at Cibomato during my visit, but I did a couple months earlier. And even though the restaurant had just opened, the food was very good, the service attentive without being intrusive, and the overall experience terrific. Cibomato roughly translates to crazy food in Italian. I'd say crazy like a fox. One last stop at the Wit brings me to where I started this hotel tour, at Roof. Roof offers 7,000 square feet of inside and outside space, some awesome views, and an ambiance like no other I've experienced.
Look at these views up here. You can't buy wallpaper like this. It's an excellent location. We've got a great beverage program, a great chef running a very good menu. So everything came together. First, we have the hangover living room area, as we call it. There's a table of 8 that actually extends out over the building, so you're actually suspending in air. It's great views of Millennium Park and the lake. And then coming inside here, we've got, again, floor-to-ceiling windows, a nice fireplace, and some great indoor space, a little bit more intimate. Then, of course, the main outdoor space has fire pits, another full-service bar.
Marshall says they thought Roof would be kind of a hip piano bar. It's hip, all right, but it's a long way from a piano bar. Roof serves up 2 things in abundance: views and cocktails.
How do you come up with your ideas? Flavors?
Flavors, history, cocktail history, a lot of stuff with, talk to kitchens a lot. I spent 3 years working in kitchens under various chefs, so my kitchen background definitely plays a role.
Abens does all the cocktail menus at the Wit, which are changed seasonally. He shared his talents with us, mixing up 3 great-looking drinks. The Londoner in Bangkok with Beefeater Gin, Fresh Mango, and Basil. The Jalisco Old Fashioned featuring Salsa Anejo Tequila, orange and regular bitters, and agave syrup. And the Honey and Spice Pears with Hanger One Spice Pear Vodka and orange and regular bitters. Roof at the Wit. You'll have to wait in line unless you're staying at the hotel, which gives you first dibs. But even if you do have to wait, it's worth it.
Excellent.
Let me give you one more reason to visit Chicago. Actually, thousands of reasons. That's how many taste experiences you'll have at Chicago Gourmet, a 2-day celebration of chefs and their cuisine and talents, wines and spirits, and food, all served up in Millennium Park.
The goal was to try and deliver a food and wine festival with spirits included this year that really was a value.
I wanted to do something on a sort of humble ingredients.
Chicago Gourmet brings together dozens of chefs for demonstrations. This one featured 2 of my personal favorites, Rick Bayless of Frontera Grill and Topolobampo fame, and Marcus Samuelson from the relatively new Sea House, showing off some ceviche.
It's really important for Chicago because right now I think that Chicago is one of the great food cities of our country, if not of the world. We've got amazing talent here, and sometimes you just need to bring it all together and let people see all of that beautiful talent in one place.
You got to do stuff in the community, and look at this stage. This is by far the most beautiful stage I've ever cooked on in my life. Frank Gehry, design, the park, everything. And then cooking with a true Chicago legend, it's fantastic with Rick.
What are you guys serving?
Pomegranate martini.
Along with a slew of spirits, plenty of fantastic food, and top-notch chefs, Chicago Gourmet features some pretty awesome wine. None better than the offerings of the Chicago-based Terlato Wine Group.
The import business has been marvelous for us because of the quality of the brands that we represent. Gaia, Chapoutier, Bollinger, Two Hands, Yost-Meyer. I mean, it's a litany of Chimney Rock, Rutherford Hill, Cuvison, Hanna, Racchioli. It's a list of absolutely marvelous, marvelous producers.
The Terlato Wine Group is always pushing the envelope on quality. With that focus, the company has become the leading importer of premium wine.
You're good out.
To yours. Beautiful.
Chicago is home, and we'll never live anywhere else. We travel all over the world, but Chicago is a unique city, great people. We love it here. And we do like to have the food scene highlighted, and the fact that we're the only major wine company that's here, because it's not a place where you usually have a wine company, is great for us as well.
It was a direct appeal from Mayor Daley that got Trolato on board. The mayor was out of the country during the festival, but his wife Maggie was there, and Tony was more than happy to introduce her to some of his wines.
This one is California.
This one is California. We'll taste that too.
This is just the second year for Chicago Gourmet, and it's clearly gotten better. One can only imagine just how good it can be in the years ahead.
If I may, a toast to the great and beautiful city of Chicago, to the magnificent culinary talents of this city, and to a wonderful festival. Cheers.
Chicago Gourmet, the city with broad shoulders flexing a little culinary muscle, and one more reason to visit this great city. And on that note, it's time for me to end my visit to Chicago in this week's show. As I say goodbye for another week, no matter where you go or what you eat or drink, may your dining experiences be great and your travels safe. Hope to catch you again very soon on the Culinary Travels Trail. See you next week.